So I want to talk for a moment about the MultiVersity. And the MultiVersity is an online platform that I've been working on building for gifted adults. It launches for pre-registration on Thanksgiving Day, but the actual course container is January 6th through the 15th. Now, if you have schedule conflicts on those days, don't worry. You'll have access to all of the materials online. You'll have access to the online community group and also replays. So the schedule is flexible within that time period to be able to access any of the course materials, but it will run from January 6th through the 15th. Now let's talk about what the MultiVersity is, because I've been dropping some hints about the MultiVersity and what it might mean, and so I want to get really clear on who this is for. The MultiVersity is created for gifted adults, but when I say gifted adults, I think many gifted adults don't identify as such. So I'm looking at specifically a sector of the population that, while having intelligence, that's one component of a gifted individual, it's not the determining factor. There's 3 traits that are highly associated with gifted individuals, and these are the 3 traits of intensity, complexity, and drive. And we see those play out in different ways. We also look at Dabrowski's model of positive disintegration. Positive disintegration is a process that gifted individuals go through that spurs them on towards rapid personal growth and innovation. Within this system, the theory of positive disintegration, he identifies 5 areas of what he calls overexcitabilities. So these videos that I've been kind of slowly leaking out about the different overexcitabilities, if you really identify with the traits that I list in these 5 videos, this course is probably for you. It's safe to say that if you find all of those attributes, or most of them, or many of them applying to yourself, you are probably a gifted adult or individual. And there's no kind of test to prove your giftedness that you need to get into this course. This course could be applicable for anyone, but it's going to be especially helpful for those people who walk around feeling like you just see all perspectives, you feel everything intensely, and you feel like you're almost driven by a motor. So this often overlaps, but not always, with neurodivergence. That means ADHD, autism, some sensory issues and disorders tend to overlap with gifted traits because they have this heightened awareness element that plays in to a gifted individual. So if these videos that I've been releasing over this past week really speak to you, or you identify or see yourself in them, the MultiVersity is going to be a really neat container for you. So here's what we're going to do within the MultiVersity. The MultiVersity is structured into 3 sections, and we're going to work our way through it over a series of 10 days. And at first, we're going to look at discovering. So there are assessments involved. If you love like personality profiling or taking assessments, you are going to love the first 2 days of the MultiVersity. We are going to be using what's called the Evolutional Intelligence Quotient Assessment. So this is not, don't worry, it's not school. You're not going to be doing math, science, or any of those things. You don't have to prove your intelligence at any point in this course. But what we're going to be looking at is where your areas of intelligence, the spheres and arenas of intelligence, lie within your unique blueprint. So where are you uniquely gifted? There are 8 different areas of multiple intelligences as defined by Gardner's assessment, and that's the assessment base that we're going to be using for the section on multiple intelligences. And then we're going to move into those gifted traits and see how those show up for you in your life. So we're going to be looking at intensity, complexity, and drive. And then we're going to move into the 3rd area of assessment, which is looking at advanced development. So how does this play out in your life? Do you have humanistic vision? Do you have a mission? Do you have revolutionary action based on the traits and abilities that you have? And how do we develop that internally? So those are the first couple days of the MultiVersity course. It's a lot of discovery and it's a lot of fun. And we're going to hop on the live calls. And if you have any questions about identifying aspects of it within yourself, I'm going to be available to coach you through that. Then we're going to move it into training and enhancing. So we want to look at those areas of strengths, but also those areas of asynchronistic development, because when we have really high levels of skill in one area, often it comes hand in hand with areas that are much lower, because our brain is allocating all of our resources to one area, right? So sometimes when we're focusing on certain areas and traits, other ones go undetected or unnoticed or unregulated. So the second part of the program is going to be, how do we work with these areas that maybe don't feel as comfortable? So how do we enhance our traits that are our brilliance? And how do we work with the areas that feel uncomfortable so we can move through the world with more ease and comfort? So we're going to be looking at sensory issues. We're going to be looking at empathy and emotional attachments. We're going to be looking at all the things that make having these gifted traits slightly sticky and uncomfortable. And we're going to work with them and learn how to manage them and how to highlight and bring them to light. Because the point is not changing who you are or trying to fix you. It's trying to help you really step into your full expression of self. And then the last area that we're going to move into the last 2 days is, how do we use all of this that we've learned and bring it to the world? So the first of the last 2 days, we're going to look at relationships, and we're going to talk about communication skills. We're going to talk about deep connection. And then the last day, we're going to look at, how do we bring this to the world? And how do we create revolutionary action? So if any of this sounded interesting to you, please check out the MultiVersity. It's only $97 and you get 10 days of intense coaching. It's a pretty great deal. I hope to see everybody who I've talked to about in this container, and many of you that I've never met. I look forward to meeting you and working with you through these really neat stages of development and identification. I think you're gonna love it. So hop on over to our page, Ferrante Family Wellness, to get all info. Like if you sign up for our newsletter, then you'll be notified as soon as this releases for pre-registration. I'll see you there.